Hey there, it's Sonia Miller with another Q&A. And if you don't know who I am, I'm a life coach, speaker, and author, and founder of SuccessForTheSoul.com. Been answering lots of questions lately on video, and I'm having a lot of fun doing it. So today's question is, how do I receive what I want? So if you don't know me, I am a best-selling author. I wrote the book, The Attraction Distraction, Why the Law of Attraction Isn't Working for You and How to Get Results Finally. And I love all things having to do with manifestation and conscious creation. And I've done a deep dive over 3 decades to really understand the energetic principles of consciousness and metaphysics to understand how it is that we manifest. And most recently, although I've taught this for a long time, I've been doing a deep dive into the idea of receiving, because what happens for a lot of people with manifestation is that we put it through a filter that is so much a part of our culture. And that filter is a hard work ethic. So it's very challenging to our minds to look at how manifestation can be easy. And so the thing I want to highlight today is, first of all, what is the main focus when we ask the question, how do I receive what I want? And so the first thing I want to point to is, in that question, let's focus on the word receive versus want. Most of us, when we think, how do I receive what I want, or how do I get what I want, all of our energy is on the want, think. It's on the outcome. And what I want to invite you to do is think about, how do I receive, right? So this whole opportunity is to explore how to become a master receiver. Like, what does it mean to receive? So that's the first thing, is this overarching way of looking at the main question, all right? We're going to focus on receiving versus the want. How do I receive what I want? How do I become a master receiver? Okay. And with that, I'd like to talk about 3 things that we need to unlearn to become better receivers. Right? So the first thing that you need to unlearn is you need to unlearn being selective about what you receive. The second thing you need to unlearn is you need to unlearn your old ideas about what receiving actually is. And the third thing you need to unlearn is an over-reliance on what I call a masculine model of manifestation, or a masculine model of power. So I'm just going to touch on these a little bit, because a little foreshadowing here, I'm planning on creating a masterclass in this. Haven't done it yet, but if you're interested, please go to SuccessForTheSoul.com and just go to the contact link and say, yes, I'm interested, or take the blind spots quiz and join my list, because I'll keep you posted via email when that class is coming out. But I want to give you some things to think about to start priming the pump and exploring and playing with how to become a master receiver. Okay, so unlearning being selective. Now, if we're focusing on being a better receiver as opposed to how do I get that thing that I want, and we look at receiving as a skill set, all right, what we tend to do is we receive what we want and push away what we don't. So our consciousness is selective. I'll receive this, I won't receive that. I'll receive this, I'll push away that. So what happens to your receiving? Well, it comes and goes. It fits and starts. So if you want to be in the flow of life, if you want to receive, you get to unlearn being selective and practice receiving everything. Everything. Okay? Now, how do you do that when you're receiving things that you don't like? Well, that's part of the deep dive, okay? But the main thing I would offer you is start thinking about, am I selective about the things I receive? And when I receive, or something comes into my life that I don't like or don't want, what do I do with it? Just start becoming aware. So this particular video is going to be an opportunity to start becoming aware of how you're selective with what you receive. And what do you do with something that comes into your life that you don't want? Okay? Now, unlearning old ideas about what receiving is. This is the second key. So most of us think that receiving is an end result. So we think of receiving, I like to call it, you think of receiving from the small you or the ego perspective. So we think that receiving is getting, having, capturing, maybe there's a little bit of hoarding energy, all right? And so what happens is we may actually get something, but once we get it, then what do we do with it? Okay? Now, a really fun way to look at receiving is instead of receiving as something that I get and I'm done with it, that it's actually something we experience. Receiving is something that moves through us. It flows through us. And one of my favorite questions to ask clients is, let's say I waved my magic wand and you had $1 million in the bank account. Poof, you got $1 million, but you can't spend it. Would you feel fulfilled? Would you be happy? And really think about it. It's like, wow, I've got $1 million in the bank, but I cannot spend it. I cannot touch it. I can't do anything. So you received the $1 million, you got it, you're holding on to it, you've captured it, but why do you want it? You want it so that you can experience the abundance of $1 million, so that you can circulate it. In other words, so it can move through your life, so you can let it circulate and be part of the flow. So with this key, I invite you to start practicing looking at, am I looking to get something, or am I looking to experience something? And if you struggle with letting something move through you, ask yourself why that is. Most of the time, we will not circulate something or let something flow through us because we associate that with loss. I got the $1 million, but as I spend it, I'm going to lose it. So there's a lack-based belief underneath all of that, and it's all an illusion. It's just about learning how to deal with these ideas that we have, which are incorrect, and replace them, unlearning the stuff that's incorrect and replace them with a correct perspective. Finally, the third key is unlearning an over-reliance on a masculine model of manifestation or power. So when I talk about masculine and feminine energy, I do not mean gender. I'm talking about ways of moving through life, ways of being in the world, ways of looking at things, okay? The masculine model of power is about thinking, doing, action, pursuing. And we live in a culture where that's gotten lots of validation and lots of reward and lots of acknowledgement. So we feel very, very powerful for that, okay? There's a feminine model of power that is just as powerful, but instead of being about action and thinking and outcomes and figuring out and pursuing, it's about being, experiencing, receiving, feeling, surrendering, opening. Okay? So to become a master receiver, it's really about nourishing this whole experience, this whole aspect, expression of power that's in receiving. And here's the thing, receiving what you want can then become so much easier because it's really about what the flower does rather than the hunter. The flower is rooted in this present space. Open, receptive, surrendering, and she receives everything all day long. That's all she does is receive, receive, receive. She judges nothing. She rejects and pushes away nothing. She pursues nothing, okay? Meanwhile, she gets everything she needs, the sun, the nourishment, the water, the minerals. She also receives people and animals and bees that pollinate and spread what she has to offer. So she contributes to the planet. It's an incredibly powerful way of manifesting. The feminine manifests through revealing. So as you receive everything without being selective, then your manifestations are revealed and revealed and revealed. Okay? So notice if when you want to manifest something, you're over-relying on what do I do and how do I fix it and what's the solution, and you're in your mind and in your action. And simply become curious about how can I receive what's here? How can I open my eyes to receive what life is giving me? Just be aware, just bring in a new level of awareness about these 3 ways that you have been in relationship to receiving, and start to just question, like, what do I need to let go of? How can I unlearn this and open up to something new? And then if you want to go deeper with it, be in touch with me, comment below, reach out at my website, and I'll let you know when the masterclass is coming up so that you can learn more about it. Okay? So I hope this was helpful. I hope it illuminated some things, or you connected some dots, or you had at least one aha that you can build on. And just keep coming back for the next videos. All right? If this was useful or helpful, please like and share. It helps me reach the people that I'm here to serve. And come back for more. You can also go to successforthesoul.com. Have a great day and see you at the next video. Bye.